When you want to show how individual numbers combine to make up a total, nothing beats a pie chart, and Excel does them pretty well, so let's take a look. Let's select Cells down the State column, and hold the Control key down on your keyboard, and let's drag on these cells down column E. So we want to have the state header and the data underneath it, and the total header and the data underneath it selected. The only way to select cells that are not adjacent is by holding down the Control key. Now, in another movie, I said that you should never select the total to go into a chart. Well, let me make that a little bit more accurate. You don't want to have the total selected and the data that combines the total. So in this instance, it's okay to select the total because we don't have the quarterly data. If we had the quarterly data, you wouldn't select the total. Pie charts are showing components of a whole, so that's why we really do want the total column selected. So we're going to insert a pie chart. So we go to the Insert tab, and here under Charts, click Pie, and I'm going to choose a 3-dimensional pie chart. And boom, it just pops it onto the worksheet. And let's just maybe stretch it out here a little bit. We'll adjust the legend and the title in just a little bit, but let's deal with the pie itself first. If you put your mouse pointer on any of the pie pieces, you can see which state it is and what the values are. If you roll your mouse pointer over this section, you can see it's New York, and New York in this sheet has the highest number, so I'm going to rotate that to the 4 o'clock position. Click the chart, and you don't have to click on New York, it doesn't matter, you could click anywhere on the pie chart, and go to the Layout tab, and over here choose 3D Rotation. I'll just drag this out of the way here, and you see we have the X rotation. If you click that up arrow, you see the pie chart rotates. And I'm going to rotate that till it's about 160 degrees. And that'll put New York at about the 4 o'clock position. Let's take the Y angle and let's boost that up to 40 degrees. I think that's just going to make it a little bit more visible. And let's bump up the perspective to about 20 degrees. Now you could use different numbers, but I think these numbers will just make the pie chart look a little better. And now click Close. Now that New York is in the 4 o'clock position, let's say we want to pull it out from the rest of the pie. Click it, and you see the entire pie is selected. And now click it again. So that's not a double click, it's a click, hesitate, click again. Now drag out away from the rest of the pie, and now you see the New York piece has been pulled out. If you change your mind, you want that piece pushed in, just take that piece and drag it in towards the center. Don't worry if you're dragging your mouse too far. You can't overlap the pieces, they won't smush. Well, let's say you decide that you want all the pieces separated the same amount. Well, click off here in the background of the chart. Put your mouse pointer on the chart, click and drag out. Now, if you find that you're still pulling just one piece out and not all of the pieces, let me undo, because I want to be very clear on this. If you have it deselected and you click it so that all pieces are selected and then you pull out, you'll still end up pulling just one piece out. I'm going to undo that again and click off here again. What you really want to do is put your mouse pointer on any piece, it doesn't matter, press and hold down on the mouse button, don't release the mouse button, and now drag out away, and now all of the pieces will be separated. You really have to be careful of that to get all the pieces separated. Now, I think this pie chart would look a lot better if the states were listed on the pie itself rather than in the legend. So let's remove the legend. Make sure the chart is still selected, and in the Layout tab here, click Legend, and not, and you see it says turn off legend. So now we have more room for the pie itself. And now we can stretch this out a little bit, put your mouse pointer on one of the 4 corner handles, and just drag out. And now we have some more room for it. Also, let's take this title and just drag this title out of the way here. And we can still make the pie chart a little bigger. If you put your mouse pointer just outside the chart, you may see this little pop-up here that says plot area. And when you see that plot area, click, and now you have like an internal border, and now you can resize that a little bit as well, so you could resize the chart inside the chart area. So now let's put the names of the states and the values on the pie pieces themselves. Click up here on Data Labels, and you have a few options here, but click down here on More Data Label Options because we get a little bit more control here. So over here under Label Options, you want to choose Value and Category Name, and where it says Show Leader Lines, deselect that, and now click Close. Well, that's okay, but maybe we want to change the font a little bit. So go up here to the Format tab, and over here under Text Fill, maybe choose white so it stands out, and you can still adjust them a little bit more. You could go to the Home tab. You can choose different sizes if you want. If you want a different font, you can do that also. Or go down here and choose Comic Sans. Now if you want, you can still push these around a little bit. Now if you put your mouse pointer on one of them and drag, you notice that even if they're all selected, you're not dragging all of them. You can position them however you like. You just need to be careful that if you click, your mouse pointer is on the edge, so you have that four-headed arrow mouse pointer when dragging them around. Okay, now let's format the title. Click the title, and maybe I'll drag it over here. Click in it. Select the text, and now let's type billions and billions of gallons. That's what we hope to sell anyway. And you could just drag this into whatever spot you like. And now let's format it. Click the Format tab, and we could go back here to Word Art. And I'm going to choose this one over here. Doesn't really look very olive-ish, but once you have it selected, we could go back to Text Fill Color and choose something that's a little bit more green. And if you don't like any of these colors, you could go down here to More Fill Colors. Move this out of the way, and now you have more colors to choose from. And click OK. And if you like a reflection or don't like the reflection, you could go into Text Effects. Turn the reflection on and off, turn a glow on and off. I'm going to leave it the way it is. And let's just deselect it and take a look. So pie charts can be a lot of fun to make, and you can see that just about anything you want to do with them is really just 1 or 2 mouse clicks away.